Hey, it's Jason here. I'm actually in my Jeep about to head into the Publix over here. We do a lot of nighttime remodel work for them with B&B Professional Plumbing. You see my shirt on here. I'm about to go see how the work is going in there. Before I do though, I wanted to talk to you very quickly about something I'm really glad I did in my 20s. I'm 29 now and I'll be turning 30 this August in about 6 months, a little less than 6 months now in fact. And something I realized I got right in my 20s, and this doesn't mean I have it all figured out. It doesn't mean I've achieved all my goals, far from it. But over the last couple of years, I've done pretty well for myself. And I've done fairly well for myself in a short amount of time, over the last 18 months in particular. And that's largely been because I've taken a lot of risk. I've leveraged finance to buy profitable companies. I've risked my social status within my peer group, within friends and family. You know, I've risked it. I risked being thought I was crazy because of the fact that I started Brighter Living and then Brighter Utilities, and basically said I was going to go out and buy 7-figure companies and properties without any of my own money, which I was able to do repeatedly now, and I've proven that it's doable. But at the time, before I started, my family and friends thought I was crazy. I risked, obviously, going bankrupt. I almost ran out of money before I was able to get Brighter Living off the ground. I've taken a lot of risk, and I'm so glad I did, is the punchline. I'm so damn glad I did. I couldn't be happier with the risks I've taken over the last 2 years. And something I think most people get wrong, there's two things I think that are easy to mess up. Number one is this idea that failure is worse than regret. And I couldn't disagree more. I would so much rather fail than I would have regret. That's number one. I think most people are afraid of failure, whereas I am afraid of regretting that I didn't do something. And then secondly, for those of you who are in your 20s or your teens or even your early 30s, I think you have to get your head around the idea that every year you don't go for it, it becomes a little bit more difficult. Look, your energy levels as you age eventually will go down. And if you've talked with a lot of individuals in their 50s, 60s, and 70s, they'll tell you that. You'll often hear when you deal with sellers of successful businesses or business owners and individuals who have made a lot of money for themselves through entrepreneurship or business, they'll often say, man, if only I had the same energy I had when I was your age, Jason. This is something I hear all the time. Or, hey, if only I had as much energy as I had when I was in my 20s or 30s, and if I still had all the experience that I have now, I would just make a killing. The reality is you're going to run low on energy eventually. You're going to have less energy at some point as you age than you do today. And equally, you're going to have a shorter runway from which you can turn things around, right? If you go bankrupt when you're 23, you have 7 years and then you get a clean slate. That's my understanding. I'm not a bankruptcy lawyer, but 7 years later, you're only 30 years old and you still could completely restart and revamp and refresh and reinvent yourself, right? If you start a business when you're 20 and go bankrupt by the time you're 23, you could start again when you're 25. Maybe you have somebody else guarantee for you that time, and you can make it by the time you're 27. Hell, you could go bankrupt at 23, sell cars or sell insurance or sell real estate for the next 7 years, expunge your record of your bankruptcy, start a business at 30, use all those sales skills you built over the last 7 years, and then you can make it in a huge way, right? I started Brighter Living when I was 27. I started Brighter Utilities when I was 28, and now I'm 29, and we've been growing faster than ever before, looking at more deals than ever before, have a deal under contract right now, analyzing a deal right now, talking to a seller in the morning, have a profitable remodel work that I'm going to go investigate here in just a moment. Things are just happening, and it's not without risk. It's not without struggle. I mean, it's 11 o'clock right now. I'm filming this for you. I have a meeting tomorrow at 10 a.m. I'm on fairly low amounts of sleep. I'm running an M&A department. I'm overseeing operations. There's a lot going on. I'm overseeing Brighter Living. I'm overseeing Brighter Utilities. So it's not like I'm trying to say to you that any of this is easy. It's not like I'm trying to say to you that if you just take risk, everything's going to be hunky-dory and you're never going to have to stress about anything again. No, there's going to be stresses. There's going to be problems. There's going to be complications. But the punchline is, if you're truly ambitious, this year is the best year ever to start. And that is a by definition statement because of the fact that you're only going to get older. And as you get older, your runway for both being able to take risk and also your runway for having an abundance of energy is shortening. Every year you don't start, it gets tougher. And this is the realization I had when I was 27. And I said to myself, I've got to kick on. And if I'm going to do something big for myself and for my family, I need to get started ASAP. And I did. And I made a lot of mistakes along the way. I try to document those mistakes here on the YouTube channel and on my different social media platforms. But at the end of the day, it's not been my brains that have helped me get forward. It's mainly been, I'll just say it bluntly, it's mainly been balls. Balls have helped me more than brains have. Now, don't get me wrong, you need some of both. And of course, it's not actually your balls, it's just courage. A willingness to take action in the face of uncertainty. That's what's required. But for so many people, I think they're just punting on an opportunity of a lifetime where you have baby boomers that are retiring, you have businesses that are there for the taking, you have the ability to use leverage finance to buy these profitable companies without using your own money. And the last 2 years of my life have shown that you can go from literally living on your grandma's couch to owning multiple seven-figure businesses, or being the majority owner. I don't own 100% of the shares. I have minority partners. But you can go from basically being broke to being the majority owner of multiple seven-figure enterprises in a short amount of time. Now, there's risk, and you're using leverage, and there's headaches, and you have to deal with payroll, you have to deal with legal challenges, you have to deal with stuff. Okay, you have to deal with tax season. We're just dealing with tax season right now. You may be out in front of a Publix about to go check out night work at midnight. I don't mind because it's high profit margin night work, and it's a great business, and I love seeing our foreman, who I'm about to go see here in a minute. You know, you gotta love what you do. I love what I do, which makes it all worth it. You know, I love the companies that I've bought, the B&B Professional company that I bought, and the Nebraska property, and you know, I love everything I'm doing. And so that makes everything I'm doing so much more enjoyable, and it makes the risks worth it. You fall in love with the work, and you fall in love with the process, and you fall in love with being successful. And you fall in love with everything that encompasses this. That's my recommendation for you. That's what's working for me. But I just can't imagine a life where I didn't go for it. I just can't imagine a life where I didn't go for it. I can't imagine living with myself with the realization that I had an opportunity that I could have seized, but I didn't. I mean, I just can't imagine what I would be thinking right now if I hadn't seized the opportunity that I saw right in front of me. And I candidly get worried, not worried like I'm gonna lose sleep over it, but I get worried for some of the people that direct message me or that comment on a video like this or who follow my stuff, because I think a lot of people get the dopamine spike from seeing a guy like me do it. I think a lot of people get the dopamine spike from thinking about doing it, but they never actually do it. And I think there's that fear of living a quiet life of desperation, or I think that's the word. Henry David Thoreau quote is basically, more men live a life of quiet desperation, I believe is the way he said it, than basically a life of courage. That most people just basically punt on their dreams. And that's a shame. That's a shame. You know, if I went broke, I would just get a surfboard and go surfing a couple times a week, or I'd go live in Colombia again and live on the Colombian peso. I mean, I'm not afraid of going broke. What I'm afraid of is not going for the life that I have envisioned for myself. Now, I'm not worried about going broke. You know what I'm saying? You can't win if you're consumed with fear. You know, I wasn't too concerned that my family thought I was crazy when I started these different businesses. It was, for the most part, water off a duck's back. You know, it wasn't always easy, but at the end of the day, look, I appreciate your opinion, but this is my life, and I'm going to live it. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Life's too short to do it for somebody else. You get one opportunity, one at-bat in the batter's box, and you're gonna take that at-bat on behalf of somebody else? You're going to live your life on behalf of somebody else? Their fears, their wants, their desires, their goal. What? It's crazy. Yet I think, unfortunately, a lot of people that watch my stuff are candidly living their life the way their mother wants them to, or the way their father wants them to, or the way their older brother wants them to, or the way their church wants them to, or the government wants them to, or their teacher wants them to. And I'm not trying to attack any individual, a father, a mother, a religious institution, a government. I'm not trying to make any specific statement other than so as to say, live your life for you is my belief. Yes, I'm doing well for myself. I'm very excited. I couldn't be happier with how things are developing. But more important than the money, more important than the financial upside, is living my life on my terms, doing what I knew I was capable of doing, and seeing where I can go from here. It's the game of entrepreneurship, and I don't say game lightly. I mean, there's employees whom I'm responsible for, so I don't take this stuff lightly. Employees that I put to work, and who I'm grateful to have working alongside me. They have mortgages, they have car payments, they have their kids trying to go to school. I mean, I don't take the game of entrepreneurship lightly. I play the game to win. Let me be clear about that. But there's no game I'd rather be playing. There's no life I'd rather be living. Life's short, enjoy it. Life's short, go for it. Life's short. What's your alternative other than to swing for the fences? I mean, if you're young and you're ambitious and you have some smarts and you know how to communicate, and you know how to sell yourself, then my gosh, what are you waiting for? I've literally documented on the YouTube channel exactly how to go out here and acquire a 7-figure company or 3. I mean, if you don't take advantage of opportunities that are right in front of you, then you have nobody to blame but yourself down the road. So I think you have to have that candid conversation with yourself and say, hey, am I living the life that I'm going to be thankful for in 10 years from now? And that's the conversation I had with myself when I was 27. And now 2 years later, I'm 29. And I'm so damn glad I did. So with that, look, that's the message. That's the punchline. There's never been a better year in your life to take a risk and to go for it than this year, because of the simple fact, again, that you're going to eventually run low on energy. Your health is eventually going to deteriorate by definition. And oh, by the way, the less years of life you have left, it means the less opportunities you have to reinvent yourself. So if you're listening to this, this is the best year of your life to take a big risk. Doesn't mean you necessarily should take a big risk, but it means if you're gonna, don't wait around. Carpe diem, seize the day. At the end of the day, you have to go for it.